BS3 Network.
Bring back that beat, DJ. Tell me you still got it. There you go. Yeah, just let that just quiet for a moment right there. That look here. That make me want to kick a Gentile's ass. I love it, man. Oh, I love it. This might be some of Chico's finest work, man. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding you, man. I'm not kidding you. We big time with this, man.
Yeah, this boy bad. That boy good.
Yeah, shout out to Chico and Golden Eyes Creations, who's in town right now from San Bernardino, California. Matter of fact, you got to see the setup, Ben. He done come and redid the studio in here. I got dual monitors, got a box with lights all over the place.
It looked different.
The camera situation. Oh, look at here.
Very nice.
Top of the line. You know, I'm not using a laptop right now. I'm on a PC. So the camera situation is
very nice. Very nice.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to come by and check it out.
Definitely.
But matter of fact, you come too, Wilkes. That way you can pick up your cake pan there.
Oh, hey, I forgot it was even over there. I had made no cake.
Hey, yeah, we'll come through this weekend.
Yeah.
All right. So on tonight's, you got an Alfred over there?
Yeah. Nah, she's way finer than Alfred. I promise you that. The Alfred ain't got shit on her.
It's Alfreda.
Yeah. Thank you, Alfreda.
Alfreda Alizé Jenkins. Man.
Alex. Yeah. No, that's wifey.
Right on.
All right.
Welcome back to another episode of the Forecast. Took a week off.
The rarity of having all four again.
I know, man. It's just a little crazy. Yeah. But we back again with another compelling episode. This was recommended by Lily, the baby queen, and she said this is something crazy. She was not lying. And it's called Tell Them You Love Me. It is on Netflix, and it is very, very interesting. A lot of different angles to it, and it's no better crew than us to review this. So make sure to like, subscribe, click that notification bell. Also, we're live on Roku TV, BS3 TV, and you can find that on your Roku TV or device. Make sure to download it. It's free. We got a ton of great content on there, so please check it out. You will not be disappointed. All right, let's kind of go around the room. Wilkes, I seen you put the glass up. So how you doing? What you got in the cup?
I'm good. Nothing special. It's a coconut cartel with some cranberry. So nothing.
So whatever he says,
it don't sound special. Yeah, right.
He lying.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
We always joke at work, like he always coming in with, I had some squid lips with a sprinkle of steak tartare. I mean, he just be coming up with stuff, man.
I just have stuff, man. I don't know how to find it, man.
That boy is good when it comes to the pots and pans. He can give
thank you.
He can give what's his name? Trick Daddy a run for his money.
Let's go.
All right, Doc, how you doing?
I'm fantastic, sir. Playing with these dual monitors, as you can see, we got comments up from The one in Dawkins, that's my government name. He's Ivan Dawkins says hi, and then he says, "What it do, bro, Ham?" You know.
he got some new toys, so he can be
enjoying I'm in my refined mode today, having a fine glass of red. And it's aerating right now. Let's see. To the palate. Let me swish it around a little bit.
Got him at Bordeaux this morning.
you know you gotta do that after you drink it.
Yeah, right.
You got to.
Tannins when they kick in.
Hey, real quick, Raider Kev in the building. Thank you for tuning in. Hey, Raider Kev, I believe you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Come by to the award shows coming up September the 8th. We would love to see you.
No doubt.
We'll have some performances, food, obviously awards being given out to the top BSG Network shows. If you can come through, please do. I'll send you the link. Actually, send the description of the show. So definitely we'd love to see you there.
What's up with all that smoke and shit in the background?
It's just a background you can add. It's just
okay.
Yeah. It's like, man, they got the purple haze going on. I know what was happening.
Yeah, sure know.
Yeah, you can add.
That's supposed to be after the show. Right?
Oh yeah, that's the post.
Leave it up. I kind of liked it. You had to get rid of. Oh, it's still there.
Basically it's just a loop, so you can get like a short video. You can upload it in background on Premium.
Nice. So nice. All right, that's what's up. Upload that on the Queen 3 and King brand for me, please, sir.
We'll do. Absolutely. We'll do. On air producing, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey Trap. How you doing?
I'm good, man. All good.
Good.
Laughing at my boy Joe. I'm laughing at Joe.
Joe from Houston, Joe?
He said I look like a crackhead.
Wow, just like
weight loss.
Weight loss, yeah. Hey, and real quick, a shameless plug. Chef Jeff, This Dope Cooking Show. He said, man, I want people to ask me, were you sick? He said, because I'm losing weight so fast, I don't want people to ask me, what's wrong with you? So, hey, man, we all trying to do better health as well.
Keep it up.
Hey, we want to be here for our grandkids. We got to take care of ourselves.
Yeah. I'm just trying to be here for the hoes.
Wow.
Early.
I record that? Sorry.
We early in here, baby.
Sorry, Roku.
All right, so tell them you love me.
Chino Excel.
What'd you say?
Rest in peace to DJ Polo and Chino Excel.
Yeah, and also there was an actor that passed away. I think it's Erica.
I don't think I know.
Erica Ash. I mean, we've seen her in things. But she passed away
at 46.
Yeah, cancer. So again, man, take care of yourself. Get your checkups.
Yeah.
Do what you need to do.
Yeah.
But tell them you love me. If you look at this graphic right here, I don't know if any of us knew to what extent or where this was going, but let's get into some initial thoughts. We're gonna go to Wilkes first.
I didn't know what I was stepping into. I noticed that when I did see some pictures of her in court, like kind of some still shots, I remembered her name. I remember it coming up, but I didn't know much about it. But didn't know what to expect from this one. But oh boy, what a ride! It was crazy. Hey man, you don't touch nobody else's radio when you're in the car, man. That's all I'm gonna say. But, that's all I'm gonna say, man. But yeah, great.
Oh no, Derrick likes classical now. He said, "Oh, what you say?" This hoe done slept. Well, anyway, we not get there yet.
Yeah,
but it's quite a few dynamics. But yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't cut you off.
No, you good. I was mind blown. I didn't know it was these many layers to it, and it was definitely different. So I was not expecting what these outcomes that were rolling out. So yeah, no, I enjoyed it. It was crazy.
Now, did I mess up by not giving the plot and all that other kind of stuff?
You can go ahead right now. Initial thoughts and then the plot. Yeah.
All right. So plot. Anna Stubblefield, an esteemed professor, becomes embroiled in a controversial affair with Derrick Johnson, a non-verbal man with cerebral palsy that eventually leads to a criminal trial challenging perceptions of disability and the nature of consent. This was directed by Nick August Perna. The cast is Kate Dulcich, Jerome Herman, Richard Rapala, Julian Thomas, Brenda McCullough. And this took place on in August 2011. In that time frame, Essex County, which is in Irvington, New Jersey.
There you go.
So yeah, and this for her to be an esteemed professor, she was the director of the philosophy department at Rutgers over their doctoral program. So this is no dummy.
Right. Even though she was naive as hell.
Dummy. Yeah,
big dummy.
Yeah, perfect timing.
You big dummy.
Initial thoughts. You got any initial thoughts?
Man, yeah, coming in and out of it, because again, this is probably the most significant note. At 6:38, wifey says, "I'm disgusted that someone would act like he's in love with them." Well, 20 minutes later, she's like, "Oh, well, maybe."
Yeah.
And we'll get to that in just a moment. So one of the notes I put on there is this is a roller coaster ride.
Right. You don't know
the way
which
they did
wrong.
this. Yeah, the way they did this, the roller coaster ride.
Speaking of roller coasters, my stomach was on a roller coaster because I could not finish my sandwich because unfortunately, the brother, I know he wasn't presentable, but it was just kind of made me a little sick, so I had to not eat my sandwich. But other than that,
come on, Derrick.
Yeah, I just want to.
Yeah.
Fun fact: Wilkes has an issue around people that drool on themselves. So
wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is where I'm at with. This leads me to this comment. When they brought up the Stevie Wonder dance, I said to myself, "See, I was gonna stay serious this whole episode. I was gonna try to maintain it, but when they started talking about he did the Stevie Wonder dance, I couldn't take it.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't ready for that. One. I was like, y'all got to.
But hey, we all did that. Like as kids, we all did that.
Yeah. Oh
yeah. Like this.
So. Oh yeah.
Absolutely. That was a cultural thing. Yeah.
And just substitute teacher.
And just like Stevie, we could see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, Stevie playing with y'all, man.
Yeah.
That rumor is going around very heavily.
Yeah.
But
yeah, we gotta get through it.
All right, A-Trap, initial thoughts.
This was disgusting.
Straight to it.
Utterly, and this is repugnant, to quote the great philosopher Samuel L. Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
This is repugnant. I don't think this was naivete. This was disgusting. And that's it.
She knew what was going on.
Right.
We'll get to the most naive point of the entire documentary.
She knew what time it was. That boy don't know what no breast is. Come on, stop playing, man.
Ain't nobody that dumb. But maybe.
Right.
Well, his mama say he started jacking off afterwards, so he knew something.
He knew that, but you know what? Guys, you want to prop them titties out, man. Stop. Don't get me started, man. Hey, I'm trying to be nice tonight, man. I know I've been on edge. I ain't trying to run off the fans, man. I'm trying to be cool.
All right, so this was kind of broken down in 3 parts. One was communication, 2 was power, and the other one was guilt. But just to kind of give you the landscape, if you look at the graphic, there's a white female hand onto a black hand, and obviously that added a whole nother dynamic to this because Stubblefield was white and Derrick Johnson? Yeah, Derrick Johnson was black. So that when it comes to all the different layers of this whole thing, that made it even more of a conversation piece and how everything went. Irvington, New Jersey, Derrick Johnson, nonverbal. Obviously, they gave the beginnings part of it, and I was telling Erica like this is about to go left. Like I don't know what point, but these early beginnings and stuff was like, yeah, we was doing this, and then he did that, and then he couldn't talk. He was nonverbal. He was also had cerebral palsy, and he was medically deemed as mentally retarded. So all of those things kind of give you a backdrop that he wasn't able to communicate at all. And that's kind of when the dad left, which again adds another layer to this, because the mom was a single mom, and she was protective over him, and she was concerned, and did everything she could, obviously, to the best of her ability.
So did they mention did he leave because of the condition of the son or the child? He didn't.
Because I don't know if they say.
That's the impression they gave me.
That's kind of the they didn't say it right out, but I felt like that was the impression that they were maybe.
Well, actually, she did say it. Well, she said, and he couldn't deal with it, so he packed up and left after we found out. Remember?
Okay.
At the very beginning.
Okay. I think I do.
And I was wondering that too. I don't remember hearing her say that, but I mean, it kind of
I kind of recall that part. Yeah, when he said he packed up and left when he couldn't. Yeah, I get it. Yeah,
and that's a lot to deal with. And then so Derrick's brother John has a doctorate. They didn't go into detail of what exactly he does, but so he was protecting his brother.
Was he working with the disabled too? Is that? I mean, that's why he was in that class, right?
So he was in Anna Stubblefield's class, I believe, about like disability and human rights, and I think African American studies or something. It was some type of mixture of all of that. And so facilitated communication. So before watching this, did anybody know what facilitated communication was?
No. Nope.
Neither. And so to kind of break it down simply, it's somebody that cannot communicate for themselves, but you either help that person, either adjusting their arm or hand or something to allow them to type. Yeah. Now, the issue comes in with this situation is because she was holding his hand and he was basically pushing down on the buttons.
Right.
Now, there's a difference between you slightly guiding somebody's arm and them doing all the typing and you holding that person's hand. And that's where that's where this whole thing got kind of mixed up.
Yeah, we'll get there.
What's up, Chef Jeff? In the building. And so when you see Anna first come on, let's rewind back. You see her first come on and sit down. She's like, "Yeah, I'm willing to talk about this, but because I'm not guilty." Was there any ounce did y'all believe that she was not guilty?
First thing out of her mouth.
Well, yeah. I mean, I went into it with an open mind, because again, we talked about the roller coaster ride. So, when you're coming into it, you think there's no way. Like I said, I gave Wifey's comment where she was talking about she was disgusted, 6.5 minutes in. But when they went through the layers of the number of people who had these devices and were thinking of these things, you got to remember, they didn't tell us about what the Americans with Disabilities Association and all those other things, all those prominent organizations thought about those devices until the end. They didn't tell us that they were not admissible in court, all these other things until the end. They were building this up as a credible thing, throughout that part of the documentary. In fact, they even had this one lady on here. I can't remember what this lady's name is, but she actually uses one of the devices, the one that they had her speaking, but you could barely make out what she was saying, right? Yeah. I can't remember who the lady is.
I think her name, I thought her name was Anna too, maybe.
Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah. But anyway, they even had her on. So, and this lady was smart, right? And I'm like, shoot, she's smart. Oh, her name was Deva Kasnitz.
Oh,
she's an anthropologist, specializes in the ethnography in I can't pronounce that word of disabilities, right?
Brother.
And she had tertian dystonia.
Yeah.
Okay. And I said, she's smarter than me. She can't love. That was my note, because she was, she basically was an advocate of it and an advocate of Anna and whatnot. Right. So at this point in the documentary, there's no way everybody could have thought she was guilty. There had to be some people saying, wait a minute, because I even said it to wife. I'm like, well, wait a minute, she's smart. You telling me as intelligent as she is, she couldn't be able to determine whether or not she's,
well, I think that the issue became she was married. So let's go ahead and put she was married.
Ethnography. Shit. Hell, I'm gonna get that right.
Ethnography
of disability.
She was married. She had 2 kids.
Yeah.
And
we're talking about Anna, the professor.
Yeah, right. And I think she was looking, because she said the marriage wasn't going well. So was she looking for an out too? That's another whole factor.
Well, and one thing it should be noted, her husband is black.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, which is interesting.
And he didn't want to have nothing to do with this.
So she got jungle fever. Yeah, she had jungle fever already.
Right.
2 kids. But one thing that I know, they didn't say much about the wife. They mentioned these suckers one time, didn't they?
Yeah, it wasn't much.
Not say nothing else about it.
Yeah, it was
matter of fact, about her wife and her husband. And
well, until the end when he was like,
just to the wife. I said, so wifey made some sort of comment, and I said, "You done forgot all about the husband and kids." And she goes, "God, dog, I sure did."
Yeah.
Yeah, they made you forget the day.
Real quick, Latoya, the therapist, thank you for tuning in, co-host of Perspective on Thursdays, BSU Network. I'm excited to hear you all's take on this documentary. And then Chef Jeff, this movie was a doozy. I believed her at first, like she sold it. He said, wait, Wooks, what you drinking? Is this the brown liquor conversation? We already did that at the beginning, but go ahead for those.
No, actually, it's not brown liquor tonight. It's clear, or not clear, or as they say, Blanco. It's coconut rum and just cranberry juice. Nothing crazy tonight.
Who is this they? I don't call anything Blanco, but
well, I don't want to. People don't say clear rum. It was just like it's either white rum or it's Blanco. But Coconut Cartel, they call it Blanco, so it's white rum, whatever. But pretty good. Made from what do they use? I think it's a potato. Made from like potato water or something like that. So pretty good. Mm-hmm. Pretty good. But don't worry, it's normal. Anybody can pick it up. Anybody can.
The special order.
Nothing special.
Okay. All right. So early on, Anna was fascinated with disabilities. So her mom worked with disabled kids, and she had that love for people with disabilities. So she would put a blindfold on, and she would put crutches on, and she would, she cared for people that couldn't do for themselves, and she wanted to help give them a voice. And her mom was also instrumental in this facilitated communication. Mm-hmm. Now, her mom had the worst haircut I have ever seen.
Oh man, she had the olive oil going on.
Boy, that hair was like bam! It did not move at all, and she had that tapered on the sides. She looked like she was in a horror movie. Anyway, she was very passionate about her daughter, and obviously. And I think the other dynamic of this too is you got the mom, Anna's mom, who's advocating for her, and obviously you have Daisy Johnson, who is advocating for her son. And so there's that. This is my kid, so I'm gonna do whatever I need to do for them, and I'm gonna believe them over believing anything else. Right? She used to fake disabilities. Right? You're right about that. Right.
She used to what?
Fake. Yeah, she would like put a blindfold on, and she would put crutches on. To see what it was in that person's shoes. Yeah. HR, what you got? I see something.
This is purely disgusting, man. I don't believe anything this woman said. I mean, her whole persona is drama. This is just purely toxic behavior. You don't take advantage. Okay, like Dog mentioned. If you have a disability, can you not love? Yeah, you can. You do have the ability to love. If you're a human being, if you've been created, you have the ability to love, right? But
what's up, CJ?
You don't have the ability to read someone's mind. This person is disabled mentally, physically, and yeah, their spirit can have love because you're a human being. But this is clearly sexual exploitation at its highest level. This is equivalent to child molestation, if you ask me. I was disgusted with this.
Yeah, it was crazy.
This, and then her mother supporting that. Look, man, I love both my children. I love children in general. But if my child or a child that's in my life does something this heinous, I'm not supporting it, man. You're not even going to get me on TV to comment on this. I'm just going to fade back and you do what you're going to do, Nah, man, this is disgusting. She should still be incarcerated for this, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which she is not.
Because it got overturned.
Yeah, it got overturned.
Served 2. She was given 24 years and she only served 2 because she appealed it. So
yeah, and that's because they did not the original judge did not allow in her evidence, which is supposed to be the transcripts from the dictation machine, right? Now again, we got 2 questions here, right? There's a question as to, and this is what HRAP has been commenting on, whether this particular story is disgusting or not. And I think we would all agree that this particular story is disgusting. The bigger question, if I may submit, is that can a person who has physical disabilities, okay, but no mental disabilities, be capable of consenting to sex and love?
Probably.
That's the question.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
And that's why you got to be careful with making a blanket statement with regard to what goes on here, because again, being we've served as they called us what they call us. It wasn't ushers. They called servants, right? Whatever they call us.
Unpaid workers.
And we had, I remember, I won't mention any name. I remember I used to work a section of the church where there was a kid. I say a kid, I don't know how old Freddie was, but he used to be at the back of the, at certain section of the church. And as ushers, we were basically taught to relieve the parents so they could get the word. So we took care of the kids, right? Right. And whatnot. And and so you have to think about this. There's a difference between a physical disability and a mental disability. And I'm not well versed on cerebral palsy and what's they're capable of. Again, I submit to you the lady who was on there, Deva Kasnitz, who has they call it distortion. Tertian dystonia, okay, which means that she's got involuntary movements, and stuff like that, So if you saw a brother walking down the street with her, do you think he's taking advantage of her?
Right. Well, okay. What you're talking about, the illness you're talking about is a variation of Tourette's syndrome, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not saying if you have a severe disability. I mean, you could be a paraplegic, and I'm not saying you still have your mental faculty, you just can't physically do anything. I'm not saying that. I'm talking about in the case of a person who's mentally incapacitated, physically incapacitated. As far as we know, mental retardation makes you potentially emotionally incapacitated. But okay, just because I can get an erection, you think I love you? you folks in my hand, you operate my hand? No, you are sick. The issue. She needs to be incarcerated. And anybody who participates in any actions of this nature needs to be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. This is equivalent to these sick individuals that are in these convalescent homes molesting these seniors. This is what she's doing. Just because I'm a senior, does that give me the inability to love? No. But when I am an incapacitated senior and you take advantage of me. He's an 80-year-old man. He got an erection, so clearly he was entertained by me. Yeah. No, he just an 80-year-old man. Just
that's an easy position. See, that's an easy position to take, and this is not a black and white issue by any stretch of the imagination. It is not a black and white issue. This particular case. Again, I'm with you 100%. I think at the end of the day, my assessment of her is that, she knew what time it was, right? In fact, there's this doctor on there who would do these blind studies, right? And so basically he would show them 2 images and see what they were typing, but he would only let them, they couldn't see what the other person saw. Right. And when they saw the same image, they typed the same thing in there. When he showed them different images, they typed the image of what the person who was guiding the hand said. You know, see, that's the thing. Okay, this ties in. We gave this a comparison to the Ouija boards, right? That people will use, right? And they say this moving around, you know, and your hand moving. Is the shit moving your hand around as you moving it around? Right? You know, so that's basically what this is, right? One evil for another evil. So if misused, they're both evils. What I cannot say beyond a reasonable doubt, beyond a shadow of a doubt, is that there are machines out there that can help people communicate, right? Stephen Hawking has some variation of a device where he can communicate. And if you just saw somebody walking down the street with Stephen Hawking, your initial thought would be, ain't no damn way.
Right.
And that's my point, and that cannot be refuted. We're talking about this case, but what's possible, and that's what I'm saying. You cannot let this go. For instance, and here I'm gonna go ahead and put this up right quick. This image, for those of you who hadn't saw it, that's Derrick, and that's Anna.
Yeah,
back in the day. Now she looks like this now, but that was her back in the day with Derrick, and this is the image Ben was talking about.
Yeah,
I think what happens is in these cases we might I think we do, but we don't know. But I think we just underestimate the literal senses that the body is given. If one sense goes down, the other sense is going to kick in. I think it's one of those things where it's like, hey, in that moment, if he could feel her touching his hand, and it was like, man, she's guiding me and she's helping me. But if she feels that muscle, like he's like, okay, I'm moving. This is what I want to type. Or I think it's just one of those things where it's like, I can feel what he's attempting to do. So let me just make sure, this is the right movement. This is the right thing that we're in this conversation together. Yeah, I mean, there may be times where the brain, he's like, okay, this is what I feel. This is because she even made it. She even made a comment like, "Don't say that. Say what I said." And then she was like, "Don't ever say that again," because she didn't say exactly verbatim what he wanted to be said.
Yeah, she. Yeah.
And I think so too. We got to realize that she was working with him, I think, for a year or so. Helping him with the letters and all of this. But I think the other issue is they took this off of a study of another girl, and she was nonverbal as well, but she was typing on her own. All they were doing was holding the keyboard. In this situation, you're moving his hand, so the consent part is hella murky.
That's right.
Because you ask somebody to say
is he really?
No, but you're guiding him.
Because
there is no clear cut yes or no.
Yeah, because even in the beginning, she's like, "Well, letters became words." And,
letters became words. Words became sentences. Yeah.
Hey,
let me get some.
I think he want to see my titties, y'all. But okay, so the example, the one lady who was who took him to read the book, right? He read the book and he had to put down on the thing, and she had said, "You have to take her at her word or not." She goes, "I've never read the book." Right. So the things that he said about the book, so when I brought this up to wifey, I'm like, they hadn't said anything to refute that particular piece of it. She goes, "I didn't read the book. He wrote the book," and she was the one who guided his hand through the thing.
Yeah, she was just helping him. Let me get to some comments. Yeah. Toya says it is. She was a predator. She was so pleased, and herself was good.
She's saying it is to the black and white, and I'm like, on this particular case, yes, it is black and white, but I'm talking about the issue as a whole, as to nonverbal physical disability people and what they have the ability to do.
CJ says, "Say man, Shawty was tweaked out." Hey, this is such a CJ.
Her family, mama.
Yeah, mama was on some BS. For sure, King Dog. Hell no to the no. Biology was the erection. He had no cognitive awareness of their relationship, so he could not consent.
Yeah, the erection is not consent by any stretch of the imagination. To be very gross, there are some sexual assault victims who show signs of sexual arousal, that doesn't mean that they're saying, I want you to do it, you know? So no, the erection is no indication whatsoever of consent.
Shaking my head. When things like this happens, I can only ask myself, where are the real steppers at? Why ain't nobody swung on Shudder yet or something? Hey, the mama was about to.
Mama's about to get with it.
She said, this hoe done slept with my son. I really thought she was about to put them hands on her, but yeah, she had that gospel.
She sat on my hands. That's all she didn't have.
That gospel tape saved her, though. So she was about to
okay, so when check this out. When they told the mama and the son that we done our relationship done took to another level and we were physical to each other, why in the hell would their first question be, did you use protection?
Now hold on, though. That was what Anna said.
That they asked him.
Well, that was Anna. That's the part where it was a little like two-sided because Anna said that, but then when it came to John was like, I went downstairs because I was mad. So I don't even know if that question was asked.
Let me tell you this, man. This is my personal opinion. If Anna would have been Antoinette, they'd have whooped up behind her.
Nah, she'd be under the jail.
They'd have whooped her. No, I'm talking about the police. They sat there and said, man, we beat up this white woman, we gonna get in trouble.
Oh, you saying the black people would have?
If that boy's sister, mama, and his brother, if that would have been Antoinette or Amnet, they'd have whooped her. They looking like, man, we in Jersey. It ain't gonna work out.
This ain't gonna go well for us.
Don't look good.
It was her, and then she started to the issue too, which makes her entire story and belief questionable, is she started speaking for him. Mm-hmm. He don't like gospel music. He like wine now. What? You never had wine before. How you like wine now?
So, do we believe her account when mom gave her a hug and said, we'll get through this?
No.
She
she had to sit on her hands. She said, and then I sat on my hands because she knew if I ain't sitting on my hands, I'm gonna be sitting on her chest.
Getting through what?
About to be some furniture moving around this mother.
Yeah. Now, and another thing that lets you know that she was on some BS is because they were trying to use the machine, and Derrick said, I couldn't even get this nigga to go to a letter. Let alone 4 sentences. And she tried to explain it. Well, I've been working with him a lot longer than you have.
Well, I know what he like.
Right. She do know what he like.
And he don't like y'all niggas no more.
No, man. Get your ass out of here.
But I kind of gave a sense that she was working with them, and she said, hey, you guys do this stuff at home. And Anna made it seem like they weren't working with him.
Of course,
Oh, you got some comments? Let's see. See, they said, shaking my head. We need to pay these little boppers out here in Oak Cliff. Up this over. They go all the way up to New Jersey. Glad you guys are reviewing this. Appreciate you, Boost Streak. Thank you. Hey, y'all. This show was disturbing to say the least. This chick was nasty, pushing on little R word.
Wow.
It's slow. I don't know what the term they use. I was gonna say slow, but they use a different terminology.
Neither are inappropriate. Wrong then, wrong now.
Hey, they said it in the show.
You heard me, Wilkes? That's for you. Wrong then, wrong now.
Oh yeah. This comment right here. D-man.
Yeah, demand.
She kept saying demand.
Yeah. No, the man would have been better. She demand. She like wouldn't. Yeah, she doesn't. No, he said D man. Now that was another question too. How did she get that information?
Exactly. Well, she claimed that
maybe he typed that.
Come on, Ben.
If
he typed, no. I mean, I'm not discounting your point, but my point is, if there's a possibility that he typed in when she said, "What do you?" I'm sorry, I've been calling you Derrick. What do you want to be called? Anybody who can't even say D-man, why in the hell would she put D-man in there?
To go from there to Bucky in a short amount of time, it's a leap. Because here's the other part. They kept saying whatever was typed in this Neo is what they were bringing up on the screen, but they never put up on the screen take your shirt off and all this other stuff. They just put like D-Man and they put some of this other simple stuff. I don't know if they because maybe they didn't want to put it on there.
Yeah, she just talked what he said.
Yeah, but she was saying like he told me to do this and he told me to do that, but there wasn't anything up there.
Well, you know what? Tell you what, I believe her about as much as white people believe OJ.
D-Man.
Yeah. Right. And she said that one more. Somebody needed to slap her for that.
Say that one more again.
This is where the show is dangerous. You guys are doing a great job. Peaking.
What show?
You talking about the documentary?
You sure? You talking about our show?
Yes. You guys are doing a good job piquing my curiosity. This sounds like a horrible show for me to watch. Thanks.
But you should watch it. You should watch it. Yeah, watch it.
True, Keisha. But I wanted to bring awareness that was the reason for the suggestion. I knew the forecast would bring it.
Crazy.
Yeah, it needs to be.
She made all this up. I mean,
that's what I felt like. That's what I.
But see, here's the thing. I don't care. This specific case, again, for me, is. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious. You know, once all shook out, it's pretty obvious he didn't have the ability to be able to do it, right? But there again, people with physical disabilities may have the ability to do something similar to this.
What is he doing? His fingers look like this.
That's my point. It's no question that he didn't do it because he couldn't.
Okay. All right. I'm like,
right?
What?
He couldn't.
There's no way. There's no way.
And I agree. I think some of it, she thought it sounded good. I think she was in a tough situation in her marriage, and she was a love interest, and she was trying to.
It didn't have nothing to do with the marriage. The marriage could have been great. She'd have had some freak instead.
Well, she said it wasn't going well.
I don't give a shit. I'm telling you, that wasn't the reason for her going where she went. In order for somebody to pull that off, you got some kind of screw loose in your head. Okay, and maybe think about this. We've all heard the saying about people who are uber intelligent, and on that scale, got a little something off somewhere, right? You know.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, here, what is A Beautiful Mind? Wasn't that the movie, right? That kind of illustrated that. So even you know, for Lord forgive me, let this go viral. But Terrence Howard, is that his name?
Terrence Howard, the actor.
Yeah. Have you seen any of his videos and stuff like that?
Oh, yeah.
On like, you know, 1 + 1 × 1 don't equal 1. See, you laughing at that shit. It's not just crazy. Is what I'm saying.
Well, you talking about 1 + 1 equals 4.
Forget that's not debate. What he said. My point is that people who are uber intelligent got a little something off. You know, so my point is, it didn't have nothing to do with whether her marriage was good or not. She had a screw loose.
We should have had Dr. Latoya on the show.
Yeah, that would be. She said she cringed every time. I agree. I did too. Every time. You said that.
History. We've seen this in history. You got a dude who used to be a president of the United States of America, dude who constructed the Constitution of the United States of America. He literally wrote a book about him and a young lady named, a 14-year-old girl named Sally Heming, and called her his wife the whole time. But he kept in a cage behind his crib, right?
Jefferson.
Same thing. This is 200 years later. This lady needs to be shot, man.
She said he told her to call him that. I'm sure any man say call him anything if somebody says it. The way she was, and she was. I mean, she said she had to get an exercise ball and all types of stuff. He had bruises on his back. That's how hard she was riding.
Give me a 20-second time out, nigga. I can't take that. Give me a 20.
That's when you know the D was retarded.
I can't take that boy, man. But it made John start crying when he saw that boy.
Yeah,
he knew then. He knew then. He riding the shit out of my little brother. he knew then.
Folded fingers and all. He hit it, man.
Play a commercial, man. Cause that shit.
Boy was seasoned up in the kitty.
Okay. You now see, man. There's a line.
What?
That you're welcome to come up to it. You're welcome to gaze over it.
No,
but you're not welcome to step over it.
Me? What?
Of course.
Let's get some more comments. I give it 5 mics based on her being nasty. Sweat bucket. The freaks come out. He said the freaks come out, and yeah, it came out.
Oh, it came out, all right.
I was trying to stay away from the racial thing, man. But forget it, man. I'm gonna do it. If this was a little white kid, would they even made a documentary about this?
No.
This is pure exploitation of another black person. And then we sitting up. The world is going to, anybody who watches this is going to be sitting around trying to make excuses for her because she presented it in an academic setting. This is sick. This is demented. She needs.
Why do you keep saying that? We're not arguing that point.
No.
Nobody's arguing that. That point has been solidified. We all agree with that.
It bothers me that this is actually a documentary. It needs to be a case study on how these people need to be protected, not presented in a legal way to make the benefit of the doubt. There is no doubt. She is not supposed to be outside right now, man.
Yeah.
She needs to be
she definitely not supposed
way in the back of the jail, man.
Okay, great. But what about people with physical disabilities who can't communicate? Do they have a viable option? How about that as being something that comes out of this?
You just mentioned, like you mentioned,
as people who have people with physical disabilities close to us in our family. I'm speaking for them now. Yeah. Do we have a right? Are we gonna let this shut down anything we have in the future to be able to possibly communicate? Because we have minds, we have thoughts, we just have physical disabilities. That's my point.
You referenced Stephen Hawking. He is a test case for this. Stephen Hawking cannot move his arms, legs. Only thing he can do is blink and move his mouth. And he uses his mouth to communicate through a laptop, and the laptop communicates through the world. So he is proof positive that a person who is physically unable to move can have an emotional attachment to anybody. But when my only issue is, how is it that you people in Hollywood, Netflix, or whoever financed this, presented this to the world as if this woman has an argument? This is disgusting. This is something that this family need to be suing everybody on earth for this. This is insane. You had people in this documentary attempting to defend this lady.
Well, I wonder who.
I was gonna say I don't know. I didn't pick it up as like for her trying to have like, oh, please hear my side of the story. I think it was just like, now that it's out there, because even at the end, it was talking about how some countries don't even allow the FC communication. Like they're against it.
Yeah.
Because of maybe these things happening.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't feel like it was for her to kind of like, these 12 years later, how 13 years later, I didn't pick that up that it was her for like trying to state her case kind of thing, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, and if you paid attention to these facilitated communication devices, you got some large corporations that are putting some out. Canon is one of them. Who had one of the devices.
And basically, it's a typewriter with a digital screen on it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not like it's something created. I mean, we're using those as kids.
What you mean it ain't something created, motherfucker? What you think? Darwin's theory of evolution came with it?
I'm saying
you think it evolved from an ape? Nigga, what you talking about?
It's a speaking spell
with a thing on the front. It's a sketch. It ain't like it's
everything created.
Man, a miracle.
Oh man.
All right, let's get to the comments is blowing up. We appreciate you guys. The doctor who did the double or blind study says she fell in love with herself. because he was not talking.
No doubt. That's what's up. Well, she with her crazy self.
Right.
You know, yeah.
She just wanted to be in a relationship, perhaps, where she felt empowered and needed.
Mm-hmm. And she talked about that new feeling of feeling in love, and we had that new, you know. So yeah, she was Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
And
I mean, even the way she was describing it when the mom was at church, like it was early release and your parents at work, so we gonna just skip to the house and get it on. I'm like, hey, lady, chill out.
Yeah, I knew she was wrong when she laid that mat down.
Man,
anytime somebody lay a mat down, some shit going wrong. That's a red flag. If you pull out a mat, nigga, something wrong.
Well, we had room at the office. I laid a mat down.
She was.
Okay.
She wanted to believe this so much.
Oh, the family got paid, Butler.
Yeah, and going back to what you said, A-Trap, I wonder how this even got started. Was it? I'm assuming a group maybe came to the family. I don't think they came to Anna. They probably came to Anna maybe afterwards, because the family would have had, I would assume, would have had to have approval of all of this that was going to be on.
Because like Anna said,
did they seem like they were talking under duress?
Right.
Hell no, they were talking willingly. And John, I mean, again, one of the things I remarked at wife is like John is highly intelligent himself. He was in a doctoral program.
Yeah.
You know, he needed edge up on them dreads he was growing, but he was highly intelligent.
Never need a line, I physically could not watch the show. I tried, just couldn't.
Yeah.
Wow. Y'all know them folks had a high sex drive, and she got all off on that fact alone over there getting moist.
Okay. See
what
folks? What you talking about? What folks? Get out of here. No, we don't know. Shit. We know.
The special ed keepers? What you talking
about? She did with him with men have done for women. And I start to wonder, did she do this with someone else? But they didn't really go there. But that's another.
Oh, I'm sure it's not her first time. It's not her first time.
That's another possibility. He just crossed it.
Sorry.
Habitual line stepper. Yeah,
that's right. That's right, Butler. That's right, Chef Chair.
Whoops.
I feel like we have to address race. Yeah, I think you have to. She came in trying to give life.
Yeah, that was one of the things that wifey did not like about her demeanor when coming in with the family and telling him like you just don't know. And his mama said she act like I ain't been here for 20 years or 30 years doing this, and my background is this and my background is that, and she act like that didn't account for anything.
I feel like they mentioned those exact words, the white savior. I felt like they
yeah, I think they did. Yeah,
and when it went to the trial, the first trial, it was reversed how most instances are. Like in the normal instance of the court system, she would have been let go. But in this situation, the book was thrown at her. Obviously, later on, it ended up getting refuted. But it wasn't on her side at all. I don't think the only person on her side was her mom. Everybody else was. She needs to have a life sentence. She does, but that's not gonna happen.
Easy.
Stephen Hawkins is no longer as is. He's a was. Hey, Trap.
Okay.
He got wings. Oh, he passed away.
Wonderful.
He passed away. I forgot. She right.
The family probably got paid. Oh yeah, we already mentioned that. Yeah, they definitely did. Yes. The
exploitation is what they're trying to say.
Yeah. She raped that boy and got away.
That's right. That's what it was.
Absolutely.
Damn, mat on the floor. She wanted it anyway.
Are y'all talking about me tonight? Obliterating the line?
Yeah,
really?
Yeah.
That part, Doc, dismissive toward the mother.
Yeah,
and the fact that she was starting to, and John said it, you starting to make my brother seem like he doesn't like the stuff of the lowly black people.
That's right.
He's now up here now.
That's right. Yeah, she had a very. I wrote down a holier than thou approach. You know, is what she had. You know.
Yeah, absolutely.
And she must wasn't been around her
in the way
she
was acting like the mama was asking questions like, I need to know what your plans are with your husband. As if that was her only issue with it.
Yeah.
Like we had no other issue. Like, yeah.
Like she had issues with the fact that you married, not that you're with my disabled son.
Right.
That phone call was the point where she was the dummy in this whole.
That was a setup from jump. I knew that.
Absolutely.
You hadn't talked to her in months, and she just calls up and says, "So what was you doing? Like what? Break it down for me, Anna." And she just let it all out there. Like,
but that let you know she was Looney Tunes, man. Because why would you tell his mama and brother what was going on? She was trying to do something that she was trying to get away with. She's Looney Tunes, man.
Yeah. Right. And then she was going around behind their back and talking to the
her whole
day school that he went to.
Her whole demeanor in it was just like, lady, you just talking out the side of your neck now. You just come on, lady. Like,
yeah.
But
I don't think she was crazy. I think she was just demented. I mean, well, she's just a person who thought she could do what she wanted to. It's one of the fashionable terms now. It's white privilege. I can do what I want to do when I want to do it and who I want to do it to. Because for you
not care about my own family. Like and then you gave up your entire family. You had 2 kids and a husband, and you gave that up, and you thought like this is like a Dateline episode. When people say, yeah, they did it for the life insurance money. You think in 2024, you're gonna just kill somebody and get away with it, and for the life insurance money, like you ain't watched no Datelines and no 2020s at all ever in your life.
The thing about it is that there is a frontline documentary about this facilitated communication as well.
And that was where they got the idea from to try it with Derrick. This is classic example of delusion in practice. Dangerous to sell. Yeah. But the family kept letting her see him. What does that say about them?
Pitiful.
I think they had hope. I mean, that's what it is. They thought he's doing more than what he was doing before. We're starting to see more, and they believed.
It's such polar opposites with when the doctor evaluated Derrick and said that what level he was on in terms of his ability to be able to communicate on any level, his cognitive level. The fact that they believed anything she was saying is mind-boggling.
And to
believe anything she was saying from day one. Oh, he wrote out a sentence today. For him to be on the level, forget what the sentence said.
Right.
For him to be on the cognitive level that this doctor who examined once the criminal stuff started coming. For them for the family to believe anything he was saying is questionable.
Right.
And I think they had hope in him. Yeah. They had hope in him communicating and having a better life.
At the end, after that doctor said that, they were like, yeah, I thought it was kind of crazy that he was typing this stuff.
Yeah, because the brother, once he saw the other girl, they were talking about how she was going to college and she was communicating, he thought, oh, hey, this might be something my brother would be. Maybe this will help my brother. That's what he was thinking. So.
No, his mom should have got an order, period. Yeah.
Well, 38.
They didn't know, and she was presented so well poised. Yeah. I mean, she presented it. She presented that this is what basically I can do for your son and make him better. Basically, is what she was what she said.
Right, exactly.
And I mean, they believed it. So here's the question: like, how much of this is Anna? How much of this is the family?
Well, she was already convincing the family, like, oh, he should leave, and he. Should,
yeah, once it got to that point, it was like, I don't know about that one.
Right.
But Doc, how much of this is on the family? How much of this is on Anna?
I mean, you still 90% of it is on Anna. Period. Again, you got to understand a family who's dealing with someone who's special needs and has some disability. Again, somebody talked about hoping what? Hoping the fact that they get some relief.
Right.
that's human nature. They've been having to deal with him, and there's some hoping. Well, maybe there is a possibility that he can live a somewhat normal life, et cetera, et cetera. So I can't give them, too big a heavy hand on this situation. They did some dumb shit, but I can't give them too big a, you know what I'm saying? I can't give him too big a criticism in this. It's on her, at the end of the day. But yeah, she's nuts,
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So,
I mean,
go ahead.
like I said, just listening to her talk and her body language, and I mean, she was just literally trying to sell herself as it's consensual. Well, it wasn't really most my fault because I told the family. I mean, she was all over the place.
Yeah, no, you can't. Yeah, I'm not here. Put Theodora's comment up there. I just can't. I'm not. The family has to protect them. Period. No way. I'm just gonna say this. I can't criticize them that heavily. I really can't. They didn't. This is not like Michael Jackson. The parents of the kids Michael Jackson was exposed to. That ain't that level. You know what I'm saying? She legitimately thought.
You're right.
He was getting therapy. He was trying to be. They didn't have any way of knowing. That she was trying to touch him and lay down mats and shit like that. They did. They didn't know that.
Oh man. Giving him the Janet Jackson. Anytime, anywhere. Yeah.
All right. Let me get to some more comments. She let that little special needs dude take her down, like Chris Brown was singing about.
Okay.
I'll be there.
Thank you.
You should walk in front of your phone now.
Wow.
She was worse than Looney Tune, dog. They're zany as comedy attached.
Right.
What she is far more sinister, demented, and isn't attached to accepted reality. She didn't want to accept reality. I'll give that to you.
Screw it out of it.
She is the walking. They can't say no. Like lady, chill out. You're going crazy.
So when it came to the trial, which the lady that they were interviewing, I forgot her name. What was the name of the lady that had the?
Her name is Deva Kasnitz.
Yeah,
anthropologist specializes in ethnography of disabilities.
And she went to the trial, right? Is that the lady that went to the trial?
I think she went. Yeah,
because Anna helped her. So even her, she felt. I don't think she was necessarily on Anna's side. I think she knew what Anna's abilities were, but also she thought about Derrick as well. But she said the case was based on race, communication, and guilt, which it was. And was she guilty or naive? Obviously, she was guilty. I think it was just.
Thank you, Butler. Put Butler's comment up there.
The family thought he was getting better.
Yeah.
We would have hoped. We wouldn't have hoped it could be possible. Let their hopes overshadow quick and immediate response. And were they doing? When they said they were doing the practice, hindsight, they look back and like we was trying to do the practice with them. We wasn't getting the same thing that she was.
Don't put Keisha's comment up there. Seriously. No, don't put it up there.
She knew her son was different. She made it known. Now, here's the part.
Then jump to the last Theodora comments because they kind of go with it.
The mom knew dang old well he wasn't capable of nothing. Now, was there? Here's the part two where you think of Derrick. Maybe Derrick was starting to get some type of independence, some type of okay, I'm not just stuck in the house. I'm not just doing the same old things. So was he getting more exposure? Because when it rewind to the end, I mean, it seemed like he reverted. Did y'all get that same sense?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe there was something he was getting. I think there was something. Besides that,
obviously.
Besides the
next question.
I'm sorry. Go next.
You reading Keisha comment?
No, I saw that. Okay. Okay.
Yikes.
Okay. The statement did he regress? Okay. I don't have a clue. This is pure straight from the hip shooting, free
conjecture.
Yeah.
Not just that.
If you are mentally disabled, because the R word is not cool anymore. If you're mentally disabled, I'm assuming you have the ability of a child. You have a reduced
and that's 100,
right?
100.
So if you are 20-something years old, you might have the cognitive ability of a
3-year-old.
Yeah, 3-year-old. So of course, how do you make a child happy? Give them attention. I'm not even talking about the physical attention. She's carting him around in front of the world, and people are applauding him. Boy, you go get a 3-year-old right now. Boy, you killed it. He could just be standing there. He gonna turn around and smile. So of course he regrets. And then let's factor in the physical. No matter how mentally disabled you are, physical stimulation feels awesome. So I'm getting physically stimulated. I'm getting emotionally stimulated. I'm getting more attention than I had in 20 years. Of course he was enjoying it. And when you take that away from me, of course I will regress.
So, yeah.
If it's me,
because I think that sensory level. Yeah, because she said like he was putting his hands in his mouth more, and then it was just like he was becoming kind of aggressive, kind of.
Well, I think she was saying that just to get Anna to talk, because that was that phone call when basically she was talking.
I believe it though.
I'm sure. I mean, once like H-Rap said, and like Dar, I think once you lose your other senses, you still have this. Your part of your brain is like it's not completely shut down. You can't verbally say what you're feeling, but the body is going to express, oh, I once had this. Now it's taken away from me. Where is it? He's acting out in a way because now the brain is trying to express.
Yeah, because that makes sense, right? Because he doesn't know what's right or wrong in that situation. He doesn't know that I got these sensations and this feeling, and not just the physical sensations, but the sensations of being out and about and seeing the world in a different way and all that other stuff. He didn't know the right and wrong aspect of any of that. He just knew what it made me feel,
Exactly.
Yeah.
So for him to revert would make perfect sense, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to figure out, for him to not be able to eat on his own and do all this other stuff, how's he masturbating then?
That's what I'm saying. Is he bumping and grinding? I don't know what's happening. I mean, I don't get it.
And I wonder too with his mom.
He look like Slinky. I mean, you're not.
With his mom, that's my baby, and I'm gonna do whatever to take care of him, and I'm gonna do. So, I mean, was she holding him back, not letting him do some things at all?
Of course she was. I mean, but that's
I'm going with the doctor. The doctor says it's cognitive level, man, and this doctor was like adamant about it. He was like he did not. He cannot do none of that. So like he was emphatic about it. Like
he was trying to say it as nice as possible.
It's like saying some of the worst I ever seen. He doesn't have the ability. He was talking about some of the basic communication skills that he would normally see. Like he could see. Yeah, he could see what the picture of a hat was, but when it came to putting this where it needed, he goes, "It's nothing."
Yeah.
And my point is, if the family. You can't have been around him for 30 years and not know that.
Right. Yeah. Ben, I would say yes, his mother was overprotective, but looking at the state that young man in, we're all parents, man.
Yeah.
I remember, my son isn't disabled at all, but I remember this little boy in my building used to pick on BJ when he was 10. The little boy was 14. I'm gonna whoop that boy. I was gonna whip him.
About to get on your knees, like, come on.
No, I'm not gonna get on my knees. And then I went and got one of my little cousins. And Cardell was like, one more time, one more game, and he gonna bring me back over here. So yeah, it's your natural inclination as a parent to be overprotective. You gonna hover over this child, and this is a mother. So you know your
single
father
mother too. Yeah.
do all that, but your mother will kill a brick about you, man. So of course they overprotective. Of course they didn't allow him to. He could have developed to. Let's say he's a 1 on the cognitive scale. He might have been a 3. He could have developed into a 3 had he had the ability. But as his mother, she like, no, oh no. And then
she wasn't doing that enough, apparently.
Yeah,
this is a real legit question right here.
Yes,
if he would have got pregnant, which obviously is a possibility. Man, that would have took a whole nother.
All his disability check would have been going to that baby.
Pretty much.
Come out.
You ain't gonna be no child support. You gonna eat
out, man. I'm out.
Alimony.
What? Stop, man.
Give me that money.
Yeah, dog. That disconnected hope. His mother mentioned
about the pregnancy, maybe.
About the pregnancy, yeah.
Maybe that's why. Maybe they did say that you use protection. Because think about it. If he does get her pregnant, you stuck with that lady forever.
Yeah.
Right.
As long as you breathe, you got to deal with a pervert.
So 2 questions. 1, is facilitated communication real?
Yeah.
It can be, but my point is that I don't think it should be a viable option for people who can't. If you can't move your, I mean, you can have all kind of disability, but if you can't touch the stuff yourself,
right.
There's got the only way we can take anything you say seriously is it's got to be blind tests done, just like there were blind tests done there. You've got to be able to pass blind tests for us to say you've been certified.
Yeah.
As a communicator, or whatever the case may be, right?
And I would have loved for that doctor to do that test before this even got to where it got. And I think she jumped it way too quickly. Because I don't know how long the process was, and I think they said a year or so.
Yeah, well, she had a desired outcome that she wanted to get to, and I don't necessarily think that she arrived at that immediately, like she arrived at that later on. You remember when something was happening and she was like, and I thought to myself, I love him.
Yeah.
And all that. So she, so she conjured this thing up as she went along.
She made what was possible. She did a build. She did a build a husband. Basically.
You know what? I said I wasn't gonna say this, but that boy was a human dildo. Let's say that's all.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
What she thought.
But Theodora make a good point. A lot of people say there would have been an argument about whether or not there would have been an argument.
Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah. Now the other question, which they didn't get to, but if you're Anna's kids and husband, and you knew this was coming out, you even watched it, that's the part that they didn't touch on. I mean, she was distraught when she was like, let me take care of my daughter, but you wasn't really thinking about that when you was messing with Derrick. But like that's the part that's probably the most that's the most heartbreaking out of all of this. You watching your mom act like a complete nut. And her husband is like,
that's why OJ ain't Sydney no more.
That wasn't the first time they saw their mama do nut behavior. Hell.
Nope. Right.
Guarantee it.
Right. And the husband said she's a pathological liar.
That's right.
He didn't come at that conclusion just from this.
Mm-hmm. He said pathological liar and something else. It wasn't. It was a dual statement. So it wasn't the first time.
A narcissist.
She loved the control.
The liar and the narcissist.
Narcissist. Yeah. If you can't communicate consent, the answer is no. True.
But you know what, dog? I would maybe I don't know, man.
Get it out.
No. I was just thinking, like you were saying, if you can't move your hand, I think that would be unfair to the disabled human, the disabled person, because
I mean, for that particular device. With that particular device, you can't have nobody typing for you, man. When will you ever trust them? You feel what I'm saying?
Right. That's what I was about to say. Just because she's a weirdo and we can't trust her, there's some good people out there, man, that will be doing the right thing. And you might, let's just say we run into you run into Brian, and you got somebody who you can trust. That person, I don't want to discard everybody in the world because of this creep.
Right? Yeah, I'm with you on that, obviously. But what I'm saying is certified communication versus basic communication, right? If they're just talking about, their opinion on the movie, fine. You can whoever want to control his hand, let him do it. But if you're talking about things such as consent or the legalities of life, like I'm going to sign this lease, or I'm going to take financial responsibility for this, or anything, that's moral or legal, you got to be a certified communicator, and I'm telling you, somebody who cannot move their own hands with this device, now if they can move their lips and they can use this device like similar to what Stephen Hawking had or something like that, some other device may be, what they need to do. But it's in terms of using this device, if you can't move your hands, I can't certify your communication.
Right.
And I think Anna was looking for a test case to probably continue this whole thing. I mean, she was probably looking at it like, if I can do this with Derrick, like imagine how many other people, and they were going on. I mean, she was getting attention too. They were going to these conferences. They was going to these panels. Yeah. So she was looking at it, I think too, like this could be a big for me and him together. Mm-hmm. Now, for her to even think that he was going to move on his own and move in with her and all that, that's another part of her delusion.
For sure. Oh yeah, he needs to leave and be on his own and all. Like, yeah.
And maybe that's, now that I just thought of that, maybe that was the motive. Maybe the people who she was carting him around to start saying, "Hey, we got to get that money to him." And if she moved him in with her, she caked up.
Right.
Yeah. Man, yes. She was a whole whore.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow. Whole.
Three of them.
All right. Let's get to some final thoughts. Mike, rating. Tell them you love me. We're gonna go to A-Trap first.
4. It was 4. I mean, it was totally disgusting and repugnant, and one of the worst things I was ever had to watch. But it was well done. It brought light to a situation, and as the conversation, the portion of the conversation that Doc broached, it's worth having. It's a conversation worth having. You need to protect people with disabilities versus just letting people free ball and get paid off of it.
Oh man, that's poor choice of words. Though you got to admit that. When you said free ball, you got to admit. You got to admit. Come on, Anna? Yeah.
My fault with the free ball. No Anna.
Man, Anna said she got that backstroke though.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, no Anna.
Okay. Okay.
I ain't doing no Diggy. It's no Anna from here on out.
No Anna from now. Hashtag no Anna.
I don't do that game.
I'll go ahead and start that.
Game, but I'm going there now.
All right, Will.
Me, I'll give it a. If my dog would stop, I don't know what's happening. I'll have to probably give it a 3.5 mics.
Okay.
It was, oh man, I was not expecting this.
Yeah.
And it ruined my sandwich. So I didn't appreciate that. It was a good club sandwich, actually. But other than that, yeah. I'd be curious if do they have like any more information on this? Because I'm curious if they've done another documentary though. Because
I hope not.
Netflix just kind of ran with this.
Yeah. Theodore says 4.5 mic for awareness purposes. I mean, and I think the way it was done, it was a
well done.
It was well done. I mean, it put you on a roller coaster. I mean, that's what documentaries and films are supposed to do.
Yeah.
But there's the realness part of it that was disgusting. So it's
very.
All right, Doc.
Yeah, as I typically do, I'll give you some of the other rating sources and opinions and feedback out there. IMDb gave it 6.9 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes gives it the rare 100%.
I was shocked.
100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Don't get those out.
Yeah, no, they don't at all. I'm where HRAP is. I saw it as a 4. You know, it's hard, you know, because of the information, you know, but if you separate that from the delivery, you know, you can rate it properly. Like, I think that's what Wilkes was struggling with, is the information versus the delivery. You know, It's like, I feel sick giving it a 4, but you know, but it's the, you know, it's the filmmakers, you know, so I give it a 4.
Yeah, and I'll say this. I'm gonna give it a 4 too. I think it was the delivery, the information, and I mean, I think in the right situation, facilitated communication can be used, because they showed some cases where it can be. But I think in this situation, it just didn't line up.
Yeah, they need to tighten up the guidelines, you know.
Yeah, and it was no guidelines, no necessarily structure to it. So I mean, this brought attention to it to put some of that there. Yeah. I think maybe that's
John said that earlier. And Ray Stubbs played a part in this. Who on Butler show, Doc. On that her.
Yeah, Latoya. Yeah, it does. I mean, you can't overlook it. You can't. No matter how you want to, you can't. Yeah. All right. Next week, thoughts?
Oh, what we do?
Yeah.
I might have to get back with you. I don't want to do the. You know, we need to stick to, you know, African American lead or subject matter, as far as I'm concerned.
We haven't done a throwback in a minute.
Yep.
Outlaw Posse, Mario Van Peebles.
I'm with that. I'm with that. That's that cowboy Western or whatever. I'm with that.
Paramount, Outlaw Posse. I watched it.
Let's do it.
Well, what was the call you said?
Outlaw Posse, Mario Van Peebles, Whoopi Goldberg, Mandela Van Peebles.
Okay, so since he told that, let me go ahead and tell my joke having to do with that Western. So this guy, he gets captured by some Native Americans, and Native Americans got him tied up at the stake. They're gonna burn him at the stake. They say, we're gonna give you one wish first, and he goes, okay, well, let me whisper in my horse's ear. So he whispers in his horse's ear, and his horse rides off and comes back with 3 blondes. And they said, okay, we're gonna kill you. He goes, give me one more wish. And he goes, okay, I need to whisper into my horse's ear again. He whispered in his horse's ear. Horse rides off, comes back with 3 brunettes. He said, man, please give me one more wish. Let me whisper in my horse's ear one more time. Whispers in his horse's ear. His horse runs off. It comes back with 3 redheads. And they said, okay, man, we done gave you 3 whispers in your horse's ear. That's it. We're going to burn you at the stake. And he just looked at his horse and he goes, I said posse. Posse.
I knew that was
yes, that's a classic. Always a great one.
Posse. So every time I hear the word posse, I think of that.
Yeah.
My posse's on Broadway.
Right. I said posse.
What's coming up tomorrow on the end of the bench?
I changed the format at the end of the bench for the 1 minute time. Well, I do a little bit of everything. I do a little entertainment, sports, and then what I've done is, since hip hop is my vibe, I have taken album covers and bent they on my thumbnails. So tomorrow's Public Enemy, and I talk about how you are Public Enemy number 1. How the disrespect of Vice President Kamala Harris is an indicator of the lack of respect that's in our community. I'm also going to talk about how if you're going to disrespect us, what we need to do. And then Vice President Harris I'm talking about how we need to address her as Vice President Harris. Her name is not Kamala Harris anymore. She's Vice President Harris. We need to stop calling her Kamala because that reduces her power, that reduces her stature. And then I have a diatribe at the end of this where I'm going to address something that's going to be uber sensitive. It's going to talk about religion the last like 6 minutes of the show. I think it's pretty important. I would encourage people to tune in. I think what I'm gonna say is something that needs to be heard. It may, and it is gonna tie directly into the creator of the universe, whatever you call him, Allah, Jehovah Jireh, whatever. So,
all right. What's coming up tomorrow on Queen 3 and King? The return.
Yes, tomorrow on Queen 3 and King, the duty of man. What is man's duty? Is it to be a protector? Is it to be a provider? We will discuss that tomorrow. We have special guest host Pastor D.P. Dawkins tomorrow, so this ought to be a good show with some nuggets. It stemmed from this TikTok video that we saw where this gentleman talked about the duty of man and that basic, simple protector, provider missing something. We're going to talk about what that something missing is tomorrow. Tune in 7 o'clock Central Time on Queen 3 and King, BS3 Network.
All right. So before we get out of here, Wilkes sent me a couple of photos here. And this is what he was sipping on tonight.
It's simple.
That's the
this is what he does. He's a down player. He downplays his comments. He downplays his drinks. He's a down player. I got him figured out now.
I have to be.
See you.
I'm
out. All right. Have a good night.
Thank you, Theodore.
All right. And last thing coming up on September the 8th, the 5th annual BSU Network Awards at Macedonia Missionary Baptist Church in Fate, Texas. If you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, come by. It is free. It will be a great night. And food, fellowship, awards, and some performances. So come by. The link to RSVP is in the description of the show. All right, A-Trap, close us out.
Y'all know what it is. It's the end of the month. And it's the end of the month. Y'all know what's happening Friday. It's the first of the month. So if I owe you something, I ain't got it. And if you need it, get it from Bob. And not that white lady that was putting on that little boy.
Oh, wow.
You know,